In this video, we're going to look at the math functions that are in C++. So to do that, we need to include a new library called CMath, or just math. But we have to put the C in front of it because it's a old C library. So we're going to look at three functions today: square root, absolute value, and pal. So let's see how they work. So if we want to find the square root of 9, we call the square root function, which is sqrt, and then pass it the variable number that we want to compute the square root, and then let's write out the value. So let's run that. So we can see that the square root of 9 is 3. So, very simple way to find the square root. Again, we have to pound include the library, and then we call the function, and then in the function we have what's called the argument. The argument to square root is a number. So we pass in the variable number. It returns the value to the variable, and then we simply access the variable to find the square root. So let's look at another example. Comment out this code. So we have a negative value stored into num. We want to find the absolute value of that, so we're going to say abs num equals, and then the absolute value function is abs num then let's display the result. Run the code. So the absolute value of a number is just the negation of the sign, or I'm sorry, the positive of the sign. So the absolute value of 23 is 23, and in the case of a negative number, the absolute value of negative 23 is positive 23. So if we change the sign of negative 23 to positive 23, we get the same result. Okay, so finally, the last function we're going to look at, and I'm doing this just to give you an idea. These are not nearly all the functions that are there. You'll need to look up a reference to that, to the CMath library. Just Google CMath library C++, to get a whole list of all the functions. I'm just showing you three to demonstrate how they work. So let's do the power function. So the power function takes a number and raises it to a power. So if we want to see what 2 to the third power is, I have two variables here, so I can say so here's an example of a function that takes two arguments. The first argument is the base, the number we're going to raise to a power. Then the second argument is the exponent, the power that we're going to raise that number to. So that's 2 to the third is base exponent. Pass it to pal. So let's run the program. 2 to the third is 8. So, here are three examples of three very usable and very used functions in the math library. And again, I only covered three just to give you an idea of how they work, and you should look at a reference to see all the different possibilities. But because there's 20 or 30 functions in there, maybe more than that. All the trig functions and several other functions, but these are just three very popular ones. So I thought I'd show them to you today. And thanks a lot for watching this video.